On the night of 2nd August 2018, in Elizabethtown in North Carolina, a 45-year-old woman, Angel Sawyer, planned the murder of her husband, a 55-year-old Milton Sawyer. Her husband had found out that she was cheating on him with another man named Isaac Melcher. Angel gave Isaac the murder plan, which he followed as he strangled her husband to death in a bathroom as she watched. Why did Angel cheat on her husband and then masterminded his death? Join us as we unravel the events that led to the murder of Milton Sawyer at the hands of his beloved wife. Milton Henry Sawyer Junior was born on the 9th of July 1963 in Pasquotank County in Elizabeth City in North Carolina to Doris Ann Smith Robinson and the late Milton Henry Sawyer Sr. Milton was from a blended family. His parents were not together from the time he was young. Milton performed well in school, and he won the prestigious drum nature sport in the matching band at his high school. With degrees in mathing science, he got a job managing data at the University of North Carolina. However, Milton believed he could do something bigger and better on his own because his dreams were not being fulfilled by being employed. Milton later got married, and they got blessed with 3 children. He then opened an antique store shop called the Treasure Hunter. It was a place where people could come and sell their old antiques items. The store also traded in gold. At first, Milton's marriage was doing well, but later on their relationship got ruined. The situation made him to become restless, and he started cheating on his wife with another woman. On the course of his infidelity, the woman got pregnant with Milton's child, and she gave birth to a daughter. Milton and his wife eventually divorced each other in the early 2000s. However, Milton decided to be in good terms with his ex-wife for the sake of their children. Milton loved his children. After his divorce, he would take them with him wherever he could. He would spend time with them in his treasure hunter business. In the year 2011, when Milton was picking up his children from school, he met a 38-year-old beautiful woman, Angel Marie Wilson Kessinger. Angel was born in New York City, but she, together with her husband and their 4 children, moved to live in Elizabeth City. However, Angel and her husband were also not in good terms, and they were in the process of divorcing each other. Angel had also gone to pick up her children from school on the day she first met with Milton. It happened that Angel's children were similar in age with Milton's children, and they were also studying in the same school. So Milton and Angel started talking, and they bonded very well. They talked about challenges that comes with parenting, and their relationship started from there. When Angel and her husband's divorce was finalized, Milton seized that opportunity to ask Angel out. They ended up falling in love with each other, and in the year 2012, they married each other. They had a blended family of 7 children. Angel had moved in with her 4 children after divorcing her ex-husband, and Milton also had the custody of his 3 children from his previous marriage. Angel helped her now husband Milton to run and manage his treasure hunter store business. She would organize the business and stage items well, and her husband really appreciated her help. Milton loved his wife, and he would lavish her with gifts. Whenever valuable items were brought into the treasure hunter, he would reserve them for her. He would even buy her cars that she wanted. For the next 5 years, their marriage was working well. Unfortunately, in the year 2017, Angel was involved in a minor car accident. During the accident, she got hip and back injuries, which made her recovery very challenging. Despite consulting numerous doctors, her condition didn't improve significantly. Eventually, she was advised to seek treatment from a physical therapist, which she eventually did. The physical therapist was a 30-year-old man by the name of Isaac Melcher. Isaac was married to Darling, and they had 3 children. He led a devoted life, and he would attend church regularly. So Angel attended several sessions to address her injuries. As Angel continued with her physical therapy sessions, she started engaging in sexual relationships with Isaac. The sexual relationship gradually escalated, and Isaac tried to resist her. However, during one of the appointments, Isaac found Angel without her top and bra on. Isaac finally entered into the relationship, sparking an affair. The affair started as purely physical. As the affairs progressed, Isaac's feeling for Angel deepened. They had sex multiple times, Milton gradually noted a shift in Angel's behaviors. While previously she would adorn comfortable attire for her physical therapy appointments, she began taking longer showers and putting on more makeup and dressing up more stylish before leaving. Milton began to suspect his wife was cheating on him. He confronted Angel about it, and she vehemently denied having any affairs. Milton couldn't shake his suspicion regarding Angel's behavior during her physical therapy session with Isaac. So Milton chose to contact Isaac's physical therapy clinic. However, Isaac remained firm in denying any affair and insisted that he was not involved with Angel. Milton got more convinced to go and confront Isaac at his office, and still Isaac said there was nothing going on between them. Nevertheless, the situation reached a point where Angel stopped seeing Isaac for physical therapy sessions when tension continued to rise. Later, Angel told Isaac that her husband, Milton, was jealous, controlling, and abusive towards her. Isaac advised her to leave him. Angel told Isaac she was unable to leave Milton because he would not leave her unless he was dead. Isaac felt protective over Angel, and that is when he and Angel planned to murder Milton. Isaac's idea was to kill Milton with drugs, but Angel preferred a home invasion. They settled on a scheme involving a staged robbery gone wrong as a method to carry out the murder. Angel had left her 2 teenage daughters, who still lived with them, for a sleepover at a friend's house. Therefore, Milton and Angel were all alone on the night of 2nd August 2018. That night, Isaac drove to a church at the back of Milton's home. He went through a wooded area across the backyard. He was dressed in all black, and he had his face mask on. He used the back door keys to enter into the house during that time. Angel and Milton were watching television while in bed. Angel, knowing that Isaac was already in the building, went to get a snack. Then she opened the door, and Isaac was there holding a gun. Initially, Isaac hesitated at the door, uncertain if he can go through with the plan. However, when Angel opened the door, Isaac made the fateful decision to proceed with the murder. Isaac went and took Milton to the bathroom and forced him down on the ground. He tied his hands and strangled him to death. The assailant also pistol-whipped Angel. Angel then smashed her head against the door to stage manage the scene. Isaac proceeded to dispose off the evidence of Milton's murder by cleaning it up in the neighbor's pool and scattering it across various locations in their town to hinder investigators' efforts. After the assailant had taken off, she attended to her husband. She wanted to call for help, but her own phone was locked in the truck. The only option she saw was running to the neighbor for help. Just before 2 a.m., Sawyer's neighbor woke up to a frantic knock at his front door. He opened the door to find a crying and clearly injured woman. He recognizes her as his neighbor Angel Sawyer. She had a wound at the top of her forehead. She also had black tapes around her wrists. She informs him that someone broke into their home and murdered Milton. Panicked, the neighbor immediately called 911. While Angel remained at his house, sheriff deputies arrived at Sawyer's home. They find the door locked, so they gain entry through unlocked back door. After clearing the home, they ended up in the master bedroom. They walked in, and they could tell that there have been struggles. Multiple dresses, drawers were dumped out, and jewelry were everywhere. Deputies found Angel's husband, Milton Sawyer, lying in the adjoining master bathroom. He was lying face down in the bathroom, with his hands taped up behind his back. Milton was motionless. He was without pulse and was stiff. There was a small amount of blood on the floor and on the toilet. After examining Milton's body, it was determined that he was dead. The deputies secured the scene while they awaited for the homicide investigators. Upon arrival of the investigators, they found the crime scene consistent with a robbery gone wrong scenario, and they saw obvious signs of struggle. A search on the home revealed the intruder entered through the back door with a key left on the table. They also found out that there was no forced entry into the home, and there was actually a key to the back door on a front porch. So they suspected that this was how the intruder got into the home. So they sent the key to be fingerprints tested, but nothing conclusive came back. Angel told the investigators that they kept that key there in case one of their children had to come home late at night and didn't want to wake them up. Investigators figured out that since there was no forced entry into the house, The intruder used the key to enter into the house. Angel was taken to a nearby hospital for examination. They accessed the wounds on her head. Fortunately, the injury was not severe, and she was expected to get well. The initial hypotheses from the medical examiner suggested that Milton's cause of death might have been positional asphyxiation. As the investigations continued, the neighbors provided limited information to the investigators, stating that they only heard a loud noise during the night and that there was nothing more. The investigators decided to interview Angel at the hospital. According to Angel, she pretended to be convinced the intruder who killed her husband were a couple known as Delon and his girlfriend, who had visited their treasure hunter store to sell a television. Angel asserted that she was certain that the television was stolen. She advised her husband against accepting it. She was aware of Delon's involvement in questionable activities, which quelled her reluctance to acquire the television. Despite her objection, Milton proceeded to accept the television, leading to a heated argument between them. Delon was familiar to the police. He and his girlfriend had been apprehended on the night of 2nd August 2018 due to unrelated prohibited substances. Detectives left Angel to rest as they worked on the lead she gave them. They tracked down Delon and brought him in for questioning. Delon said he and his girlfriend sold the television to Milton at around 8:30 p.m. the previous evening and then went to their separate homes. But after more questioning, Delon changed the story. It turned out he didn't go straight home after he sold the TV to Milton. He confessed that he and his girlfriend went to buy drugs from a dealer and then went home. Then he said that her girlfriend went back at her place. Then he called her at around 4 a.m. He said that Milton was his friend and he was good to him, so he had no reason to hurt him. Detectives were able to gather the location data from Delon and his girlfriend's phones that showed that they were not in the area of Sawyer's home when the murder took place. The investigators were able to rule them out as suspects. The following day, the medical examiner determined that Milton's cause of death was manual strangulation, thereby dispelling the initial theory of positional asphyxiation. This revelation shifted the focus away from the robbery gone wrong hypotheses to manual strangulation. This cause of death made the investigators to believe that the killer was someone who was more closer to Milton. Investigators turned their focus to Milton's inner circle for answers. They spoke to Milton's friends and families, who revealed an alleged affair between Angel and Isaac Melcher. They also added that Milton had been convinced of Angel's affairs, despite her vehement denials. The investigators then started investigating Isaac. They went and interviewed him. They also asked him for his permission to search his phone. Isaac told them that he didn't have it anymore. He told them that he woke up at night to use the bathroom and kicked of a jelly of water that he used for drinking beside his bed, and that water destroyed his phone. He then purchased a new phone from Walmart at around midnight on 2nd August 2018. Detectives believed that whatever was in that phone could have connected him to Milton's murder. Isaac remained at the top of suspects list. Detectives went to Walmart to check the security footage to see if Isaac was there at the time of the murder, as he had said. Unfortunately, he was not found in any of the footages, nor did any transactions lead to him. Investigators now had enough reason to search his home. On the 8th of August 2018, investigators arrived with a search warrant at Isaac's home. They learned from his wife, Darling, that he left the state. The investigators questioned Isaac's wife about her husband's connection with Angel and his whereabouts on the night of Milton's murder. Darling claimed she didn't know about Isaac's connection to Angel and that she couldn't confirm Isaac's whereabouts on the night of the murder. Darling cooperated with the investigators, and she revealed that Isaac went on a trip to Oregon to visit his mother, with Isaac as a person of interest. The investigators found it suspicious that he would go across the country in the middle of an homicide investigations. Despite Isaac's departure, investigators proceeded with the search of his home and his vehicle. However, they didn't find any evidence that could link him to Milton's murder. Investigators redirected their focus towards Angel. They sought permission to examine her phone. During the examination, they uncovered messages from a man named Dustin Melcher. it became known to the investigators that Dustin was Isaac's middle name. The investigators discovered a series of affectionate messages between Angel and Dustin Melcher, resembling a communications typical of a romantic relationship. When questioned about the content of these messages, Angel proceeded to delete them in front of the detectives. When pressed about the deleted messages, Angel claimed that Isaac was simply checking in on her and offering support following Milton's death. The deletion of the messages raised more suspicion, as it seemed inconsistent with Angel's explanation that they were merely about her well-being, despite lacking solid evidence to either arrest Angel or Isaac. A pivotal moment came when investigators received a call from a man named Louis Casimir, who called from Oregon. He said that he had an information on Milton Sawyer's case. Louis was Isaac's youth pastor and his mentor. When Isaac visited his sick mother at Oregon, he also paid a visit to Louise. He then confessed to him that he murdered Milton Sawyer by strangling him in his home. Louise told him to turn himself in, but Isaac said he didn't plan on doing that. After about an hour, Isaac returned to North Carolina, leaving Louis, who shared the horrific story with his wife. Louise checked online to see if there was a murder in Elizabeth City, and he was able to confirm that indeed there was one. After multiple sleepless nights, 3 days after Isaac made this confession, Louise called Elizabeth's sheriff office to reveal what Isaac had confessed to him. Investigators went to see Louise in Oregon the next day. After sharing the story in person the next day, with the aim of obtaining direct testimony from Isaac himself, investigators asked Louis to record some of the conversations he had with Isaac. Louis agreed and called Isaac again as they re-talked about Isaac's confession to murdering Milton. This evidence was sufficient for the investigators to finally arrest Isaac for the murder of Milton Sawyer. 3 weeks after Milton Sawyer was murdered, Isaac was finally arrested. However, upon his arrest, Isaac refused to cooperate with investigators, and he remained silent. The investigators brought in Angel for another interview, confronting her with the evidence they had gathered against Isaac. In a surprising turn of events, Angel confessed to having an affair with Isaac, although she claimed it occurred only a few times. She portrayed Isaac as obsessed with her, and she accused him of stalking her. Upon realizing that her murder plan was being uncovered, she attempted to shift the blame to Isaac, presenting herself as a victim and implying that she should have sought help earlier. Angel claimed she had refrained from contacting the investigators out of fears for her safety, asserting that she believed that Isaac would harm her and her children if she spoke up. However, this defense proved futile, and Angel was arrested for her involvement in the crime. Both of them were charged with first-degree murder, and while they were awaiting trial, investigators were able to find out that they were communicating through Bible verses. Angel told Isaac to read the Bible passage, John chapter 15, verse 12 to 13, which says, "My command is this, love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." Angel was asking Isaac to take a foul for her through the Bible verses. Their conversations were recorded. In a surprising turn of events, Isaac's attorney confronted him with the truth. The attorney told him that Angel was accusing him of being a stalker and obsessed with her, asserting that he is the one responsible for everything. Faced with this revelation, Isaac changed his stance in the matter. He agreed to cooperate with the investigators, and he provided his testimony. He accepted a plea deal for a second-degree murder, and he also accepted a 25 years jail sentence as part of the plea deal. He agreed to testify against Angel during her trial. On September 2021, 3 years after Milton Sawyer was murdered, Angel went into trial, and she was charged with first-degree murder. The prosecutor presented a case of master manipulation. They argued that Angel had manipulated Isaac into murdering her husband. She had planned the killing, participated in it, and tried to cover it up. Isaac was able to testify against Angel. The jury found Angel guilty of conspiracy to commit murder and first-degree murder. She was sentenced to life imprisonment without a parole. Isaac pledged guilty for a second-degree murder and was sentenced to 25 years imprisonment.